And on the top of acting, top of Howard, you started also a band,
Hmm.
Q Q and Annie. Why music?
Yeah, like I said, I can't stay in my lane. I've always loved music. I started taking piano lessons when I was 6 years old, and so classical piano was a big part of my life for a very long time. I would have to go to like take like these tests every year, where they would evaluate you. It was always a very big deal, and I like graduated or whatever.
Mm.
And then even though I was playing classical piano mostly, I would also like write songs starting when I was 13, I think I started writing songs. And for a long time, that was just something that was very like therapeutic for me and very um, personal. And I think as I've gotten older, I've started to realize that like songwriting allows me to be really vulnerable in a way that other art forms don't. Because you could be acting and you could, in your mind, be like, oh, this is like the most vulnerable performance I've ever done. I'm playing myself. But nobody knows that because you could just be playing the role. Or the opposite, I've had people be like, wow, this seemed so authentic. And I'm like, this role is nothing like me. That's complete. I've never experienced anything like this. And then I do write screenplays as well. But again, that's fiction. It's like, unless you come out and you say, this is based on my life, it's a story. And I think there's an expectation in songwriting that it's kind of like a confession almost. It's not a fictional art form. And so I think having a way to express that and um bring that into my art and not just have that be personal was a big step for me to take, but ultimately it's something that I've been passionate about for a long time.
Okay. Where did the name Q and Annie actually came from?
Um I get asked this a lot, and I need to come up with a better fake answer. The truth is, we have no idea. I think there were just so many um, band names that had been thrown around that were like mostly not good, and that was just one that was getting thrown around with the others. If I like had to guess, I'm trying to honestly, because my name's not even Anne. I'm Katie in real life. That's my middle name, and like, and I was never gonna be like, oh, I should just do something after my middle name. And I remember thinking of like Queen Anne's lace as a name, which is like a plant. I was like, that's lame. Like, I'm not gonna be a plant. And then there's also Queen Anne's Revenge as a pirate ship, in history. And so I think we like thought it was cool that, like it goes with like lace, but it also can go with revenge, and it just had a lot of different aspects. But there was no like real like secret meaning of it. It was kind of just something we stumbled onto.
If you had to introduce your music to someone who has never heard it before, which song you would tell to start with and why?
I would say listen to Let's Dance first. And the reason is I think because it's a cover, because okay, like our songs are pretty different from one another. Like I like to think we're not a band where it's just like every song sounds the same and you can like be in, like, oh, if you're sad, you're gonna put on Queen Anne because they like have all the sad songs. Like I think they have a pretty wide range. And so I think because Let's Dance is a cover and you can listen to it knowing the original, I think it's a very good demonstration of what we're trying to do because it's like whatever we changed, those are the things that we're bringing. And it has a little bit of everything. It has some of that like country feel. It has those guitars, but it also has kind of like a fun synth pop dancey moment to it. That's also just for me. I love the way my own voice. Sandy made it sound. Sandy's the producer, and he's the other half of Queen Anne, and he cooked with that song. Like whatever he was doing when he was producing my voice, he nailed it. And I love everything he does. Obviously, that's like we wouldn't put it out if we didn't love it. But that's one of the ones where I'm like, he knew what he was doing.
Let's talk about Real Enough. It's a title that resonates with a lot of people. What inspired you to write that song?
So, okay, to be honest, again, like I feel like these aren't glamorous answers. Um, this was the first time Sandy and I were going to be writing a song together, right? And because we met, because he was just because he's a producer, so he had just recorded one of my songs, and we'd had a good time, and we were like, let's just like try to write a song together. And I was like, cool. And I like had never sat with anyone and written a song, so I was like, oh, how hard can it be? You know, I write songs just all the time, by myself at the piano. It's like that. So I went in, and he had already made this like whole track. So he had basically all the instrumental for Real Enough. That's not true because we redid the instrumental later. So a different thing that you wouldn't even recognize existed. And he basically played it for me and he was like, okay, like, are you ready to sing it? Or do you want to like take a second to write the lyrics? And I was like, And nowadays I'm like very comfortable with him where I'll just like make up words and just come up with melodies and like sing it. But I'd never done that before. So I was sitting on his couch like, give me 1 second. And like sitting just in my notes app on my phone, like I'm gonna forget English. Like I just have to like sit down and like write a song right now. And like I don't know how to do that. And I was kind of going through, I'm like a big like notes app diary girl. I know Apple's probably reading it all, but you know, what can you do? So actually a lot of Real Enough were things that like I had written to myself almost as like a journal entry. So a lot of the song of like, you know, oh, like you think you're so tough and whatever. That's me talking to myself, and just things that like I had written. And I was like, oh, like cool, like this could be a song.
Okay. Your song, Let's Dance, have a fun title. Is there a deeper meaning behind it that people might miss?
Fine, let's dance.
Yes.
We didn't name that one. That's a cover. So David Bowie came up with that. But I love the original music video for that because it's like him, uh, you know, it's like in a mall and like super random and like art for the song is like him fighting. So I think there are a lot of different meanings, and I think that's why we chose the song because we wanted to kind of like pull that apart.
Okay. Watch Me Win It has a confident energy. Were you writing from a place of confidence or was it about becoming more confident?
Yeah, no, that's wishful thinking. I again, like we sat down. We always do this. We sit down and we have like a goal, and so we sat down and we were like, oh, let's write like a really happy, fun song. And obviously, Watch Me Win It. I mean, it's like it's still like on the happier side, but it has a lot of attitude. It's not like the fun, bubbly song we set out to write. And so, um, a lot of the lyrics are really just like me imagining this kind of like fictional night out where I'm gonna like go, you know, be confident and be cooler than I actually probably am. Some parts of it are true. Like I wear combat boots a lot, but that's, you know, there's a lot of wishful thinking in there as well.